Today is Friday, February 20th, 2026, and today is National Muffin Day, which feels like a food that committed to being practical. Welcome to This Day in History from, wait, that's random. I'm your host, C.L. Burns. On this day in 1896, one of the first recorded motor vehicle accidents involving a pedestrian took place in England. The car was driven by Bridget Driscoll's driver, and at what witnesses described as at a modest pace by modern standards. But the problem wasn't recklessness. It was novelty. Before automobiles, streets were built for people, horses, and carts. Speed was limited by muscle. The early motor car changed that because it introduced sustained mechanical motion. Unlike a horse, which tires or slows. A gasoline engine continues firing internal combustion cycles as long as fuel and spark are supplied. Inside the engine, gasoline vapor mixes with air. A spark plug ignites it. The explosion pushes a piston. The piston turns a crankshaft. The crankshaft turns the wheels. Continuous combustion means continuous forward motion. The streets hadn't changed, but the physics had. No traffic signals, no posted speed limits, no shared expectations. The accident wasn't just a collision. It was a system mismatch. Human reaction time hadn't evolved, but machine speed had. And once machines move faster than instinct, rules must follow. It's crazy to think about every traffic law that we have had to come from something happening. That same idea, adjusting human systems to mechanical ones, shows up again on this same date. In 1921, the first commercial telephone directory assistance service began operating. Before this, if you wanted to call someone, you needed to know their number. You memorized it, wrote it down, or searched printed directories manually. Directory assistants centralized that process. Operators sat at switchboards. Callers dialed a dedicated number. The operator consulted an indexed directory and connected the call manually by plugging patch cords into the appropriate jacks. Physically, each cord represented a circuit. Each connection completed the electrical pathway that allowed voice transmission. Instead of memory living in individuals, it lived in a centralized human database. This shifted expectation. Knowledge didn't need to be retained, it needed to be retrievable. And once retrieval becomes easy, retention declines. Which brings us to a more personal adjustment of technology to human limits. In 1900, one of the earliest patents for an electric hearing aid was filed. Before electric hearing aids, devices relied purely on acoustics. Ear trumpets worked by funneling sound waves into a narrower opening, increasing pressure on the eardrum through simple physical concentration of sound. Electronic hearing aids aided amplification. A microphone converted waves into electrical signals. Those signals were boosted using a battery-powered amplifier. The amplified signal was then converted back into sound through a receiver placed near the ear. Instead of redirecting sound, the device increased its energy. Early versions were bulky, often worn on the body with wires leading to the ears. But the principle mattered. Hearing loss shifted from permanent limitation to adjustable condition. Technology didn't restore hearing. It increased signal strength. And once signal can be amplified, ability becomes scalable. 3 different adjustments. Mechanical speed altered streets. Centralized operators altered communication. Electrical amplification altered biology. In each case, the system wasn't about power. It was about alignment. Machines moved faster. Systems stored knowledge. Devices increased signal. And humans adapted around them. Anyways, those are the things we ended up examining today. Stop by tomorrow and we'll see what the day decides to reveal. If you want to know more about me or the work I do, you can find everything at waitthat'srandom.com. I'm C.L. Burns, and I appreciate you stopping by.